The beauty of Bhagavad Gita is that there is this Sri Krishna who has nothing to achieve. If the war is fought or not fought, it is won or not won, it doesn't make any difference to him. He is beyond everything. As the Lord of the universe, as the kshetrajna, he is beyond. Yet he works for the welfare of the society and himself says, there is na avaptum na avaptavyam, there is nothing I need to gain out of it. There is nothing that I have already not gained in this world. There is nothing to attain. Yet I work. Vartayevacha karmani. I still act for the welfare of everyone else to set an example. So that should be our ideal. Krishna's life should be our ideal in terms of doing our duty for the sake of duty, for the sake of betterment of the society, and not for our own personal sake. And this is what he is trying to teach to Arjuna. And through Arjuna, so many people across generations, centuries have learned this wisdom of Lord Sri Krishna. The greatest service that we can do to humanity is to first and foremost protect the very womb that gives birth to the humanity, the mother. And that mother, if she is protected, taken care of, naturally children will be born healthy. That is the essence of the message. So coming back to the kshetra, kshetrajna, Vibhaga yoga, that if something can be known in terms of an external thing other than you, then it is not you. If a car is yours, you are not the car. If the hand is yours, you are not the hand. If the eyes are yours, you are not the eyes. If the thoughts are yours, you are not the thoughts. So who are you is the question. And this is the million-dollar question. This has been asked by sages and they found answers in their own dhyanavastha. Some people found it by analytical knowledge, by continuously asking the gurus, getting their doubts cleared and slowly analyzing that everything that is changing and can be known cannot be me. So that is how they have deduced and inferred that I am somebody beyond all that which is known. And I am the knower. So kshetrajna is the knower. Kshetra is everything that is known in the physical and the mental world. This is the basic premise on this, in this chapter which Krishna is teaching to Arjuna. But Arjuna has asked a few more questions. He has talked about kshetra, kshetrajna. He has about jnanam, jneyam. And he's also asked about Prakriti and Purusha. So we have only learned so far about the idea that everything is a kshetra, a field where things, when you sow a seed, you reap a harvest. Whatever you sow, that is what you reap. This is the karma and karma phala of this nature, Prakriti. Beyond that, Krishna says, the other things also exist. How do I know which is kshetra, which is kshetrajna? How do I develop the ability to differentiate between the two? What are the qualities I must develop? What efforts I must put? How do I attain this knowledge of the difference between the kshetra and kshetrajna? This is something Sri Krishna is going to continue to teach in the coming verses. The Mahavakya, that kind of Mahavakya that comes from here, which equates Jiva and Brahma, which equates man with God, is kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Arjuna, know that I am the true knower of all that is known. In all beings, I alone am the knower. You may think you know yourself because you have the body, you have the mind, but beyond that there is a consciousness. This consciousness makes us aware of everything without any proof needed. If your body is there or not, you have to pinch and see, you know their body is there. If your mind is there or not, you think and see, you know there is mind. Whether you are there or not as an existence, you don't need any proof. You exist, so you know you exist. So this idea of knowing the existence is the kshetrajna. Let me start with a small story. I talked about Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi. And then I talked about our Mahavakya, Aham Brahma, Sarvam Brahma, the simplest of all, in all times. So there was one kid who went to the school. So when he went, the teacher taught him something. So he went home, the father asked, what did you learn in the school? Aham Brahmasmi, teacher has told, I am God, so teacher is God. He said, teacher is not God. Aham Brahmasma means, I am God. Then the child thinks, oh, so teacher told me a lie that he is God. Actually, my father is God. So he tells the father, now I understood what you told. After some time, his uncle comes. He asks, what did you learn in school today? He says, Aham Brahmasmi. That's wonderful. That's a Mahavakya. So what does it mean? It means father is God. He said, no, not father is God. It means I am God. He said, see, my father also told me wrong. Uncle is God. So he told, now I understood that uncle is God. Uncle said, nothing can happen to this fellow. He's such an intelligent fellow that no amount of explanation will help. So he gave up saying that there is no point in explaining to you. How do I know what is the truth? You meditate on this, you will know. So this child felt very bad. What is this? I am so useless. I can't understand a simple concept. So he went away into the forest and sat and kept on chanting Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. And because of his Shraddha and sincerity, slowly the meaning of the verse, this Mahavakya, revealed itself to the child. That the child himself is God. This is the truth that the child learned by constant contemplation on this particular thought. I always say, these verses, these mantras are two-way traffic. First, rishis went and meditated and they got the mantra. Because they meditated and they experienced something and they said it out in the form of a mantra. When they meditated, they felt they themselves are God. And what did they say after that? They say, Aham Brahmasmi. So when the rishi said, I am God, it is out of the experience. Now we don't have the experience that I am God. So what we can do, we can chant the mantra. It will also take us to the experience. So if you chant the mantra, you can reach the experience. Or if you have the experience, naturally the mantra will manifest for you. So one of the two you can do. If you are already experiencing you are God, you may come up with a new Maha Mantra, we never know. If you are not experiencing that you are God, then you chant any of these things, meditate on that meaning, and slowly, slowly, slowly the meaning will reveal itself to you, just the way it was revealed to the Rishi who gave the mantra. So this is a two-way traffic. That's why these Mahavakyas, these mantras are important. Most of the gurus are, the devotees go after gurus telling, give me some mantra I want to chant. Help me with reaching that knowledge, that understanding. So many gurus give many kinds of mantras. I have given one universal mantra for all, Aham Brahma Sarvam Brahma. I am divine, all is divine. That if you chant day in, day out, constantly japa you do, someday or the other the meaning will be revealed to you. So with that faith you must continue, Shraddhavan Labate Jnanam, continue with Shraddha till you have understood and experienced the mantra. You have to continue chanting it in your mind. See, it doesn't cost you any money, it doesn't need you to buy flowers, fruits, coconut, incense sticks to go to a temple or Tirth Yatra or anything, or wait for the right time, Muhurtam, nothing, anytime, anywhere. Sarvada, Sarvakaleshu, Sarvatra. Anywhere, anytime, in any situation, you can chant this in your mind. So try that and keep trying that till you make that experience as your direct experience. That is the idea. So Krishna has taught kshetragyam chapivam with the sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the knower of all that is known. I am the true knower. That is the mantra in Bhagavad Gita. He told about nature of kshetra, tat kshetram, yatcha, yadrikcha, yadvikari, yataschayat. So yat isachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena meshrunu. I am telling you about what is kshetra, what is the nature of this kshetra, what are the kinds of modifications that happen in the kshetra, what are the cause and effects, what comes after what in this kshetra, and also what is the power of this kshetra, what is it capable of doing. Then he continues to say, Rishis have sung about this knowledge in so many ways, so many mantras, Chandas, Vedas have told about it, Brahma Sutras mention about this highest state of existence, this exalted existence as divinity. So there are so many ways one can know about it. This is what the ancient people have told. This knowledge is the highest knowledge. This is what the ancient, those who have experienced this have told. And that is what I am telling you. And how did they tell? Without doubt. They have experienced it correctly, without doubt. And they have explained it with all logic. You cannot refute it. And we saw some logic of Adi Shankaracharya between Dvaita and Advaita. And finally Adi Shankara says, it is the ignorance which does not allow us to see the truth. Like the cataract in our eyes, which does not allow to see who is standing in front of us. It creates doubts in our head whether this is a boy or a man or a girl, because we can't see clearly. And all these problems happen because of the cataract in the eye. So this ignorance of not knowing who you truly are, what is kshetra, what is kshetrajna, is like cataract. It does not allow you to see and understand things properly. Then he went on to say, what are the 24 aspects of this kshetra? And that what he said, avyaktam. First one is, you were unmanifest before. Then you became manifested. Again you will become unmanifest after some time. When you grow old enough and you will disappear. So all these changes, vikaras happen in you, unmanifest, manifest. When you manifest, so many other things happen, then you go back to unmanifest state. That is why all our prarabdha and other things, our memories, chitta, everything is that in an unmanifest state. Like a seed which is waiting to be sown and to grow. Then he says, buddhi and ahankara also get created after you manifest. First manifestations are this identity that I am Prakriti, that is I am this body. And it also brings an intelligence with it. An automatic intelligence, natural to us, is already inherent. Even an ant has intelligence. You try to kill an ant, it will find its way to escape. Everything has intelligence in this universe. If you look at the plants, students of botany, how the leaves form on the stem in a staggered way so that every leaf gets sunlight. That pattern is intelligence. Everything is intelligence. The earth does not bounce into sun, sun does not crash into Mercury, or moon does not come and fall onto earth. Everything is an intelligence which supremely governs the whole thing. So that intelligence also in us. Nobody can say I have no intelligence. You have some intelligence of your own kind. Find out which is that intelligence. So buddhi, ahankara come, 3, pancha mahabhutas come. See, he had told us about all. Those who are really interested in how this Advaita Vedanta works, please read Tattva Bodha. That is the basic text of Advaita Vedanta. It is by Adi Shankaracharya, in which he explains very clearly how the creation comes. From the Avyakta, how the Mahat Tattva comes, from how Ahankara comes, from Ahankara Pancha Mahabhutas come. In a subtle, Sukshma Pancha Mahabhutas come. They are not Stula. And what do they create? They create Pancha Indriyas. So the sattvic aspect of Pancha Mahabhutas becomes the Panchendriyas. What are those Pancha Indriyas which are connected to Pancha Mahabhuta? We know Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, which is Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. And then the Rajasic aspect of that becomes Jnanendriya. So Jnanendriya, that is Sukshma Indriya to Jnanendriya it comes to. Jnanendriya we all know now. Shrotrindriya, Chakshurindriya, Tvakendriya, Grahana and Jivha, Rasanendriya. From there comes the tamas aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas, which forms as Karmendriyas, Vak, Pani, Padam, Upastha, Upayu. All this we have seen yesterday. And Mana comes, which controls all these things. And finally, Pancha Gocharas come. They are sense objects come, physical objects, taste, touch, smell, all that thing, like food comes, the smells come, all these things we experience and enjoy. So this is how the Yatascha Yat, what comes after what in that sequence, this is the sequence. For those who are very interested, go and read Tattva Bodha. In that it is all mentioned. So all these 24 things, and then Ichcha, Dvesha, these are the modifications in the body. Body was not there, then it comes into existence, then it grows, becomes old and dies. And while this process is happening, Panchendriyas get created, Pancha Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, everything gets created and all that happens. Then what happens? In the mind, Ichcha, Dvesha happens, Raga, Dvesha. And Sukha, Dukkha accordingly. Favorable, unfavorable things happen, then you are happy, you are sad. Sanghata, all these combination of all these things, interactions of all these things with the Chetana, with the awareness, the interactive knowledge that you acquire. And Dhruti, the resoluteness to avoid sorrow and to attain happiness. All this is also possibilities that are happening in the mind. And then this together with all the modifications is kshetra. That is Krishna's definition. It's the 2 shlokas, 6 and 7. You can always memorize it. From there, he goes to say, how do we attain this knowledge, this difference? Naturally, now you know that kshetra is different, kshetrajna is different. Anyway, if you tried it out, some understanding will develop. But sometimes it is difficult. I think I am different from sadness. But then I feel so heavy in my heart. I can't feel the difference between the two. I can't stay unattached from it. So I just get pulled into that sadness, pulled into that happiness. I'm not able to stay away as untouched reality, untouched knower. It is not happening. So how do I develop that ability? What is that knowledge? That is what Krishna is going to tell. Jnanam and Gyayam. What is that knowledge and what is to be known? How it is done, he is going to tell us. What is the thing? He says these are the 20 qualities you must develop. Now, as I said, it is a long list, but even if you practice one quality, it will take you to the same place. There are 20 roads you can think which will take you to the same place. So this is the idea. 8th to 12th shloka, I will just chant and then I will explain. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shantirarjavam, acharyo pasanam shaucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha. 8th shloka. There are, in these 9 qualities are there. What are those? Amanitvam, pridelessness, humility. Why a person who is on spiritual path will be humble? Why should he be humble? Because he knows, I am just a puppet in the hands of the divine. Everything that is achieved through me is the divine who is doing. These ignorant people only are arrogant. Arrogance is clear indication of ignorance. Otherwise, all great beings, that's why humility is the hallmark of greatness, they say. All great people are humble. So how will you know this man is divine or not divine? By looking at the humility. Again at the same, Ati Vinayam Durta Lakshanam. Too much humility is also, the fake humility is also no good. Some people, they'll bend backwards. Too much of a sweet talk. I always tell them, be careful with this fellow. Too much sweet talk, too much niceties. This is not true. This is Durta Lakshanam. And you will figure it out sooner or later. Chatukarita. So that kind of the real, genuine humility, which is born out of the thought that I am just an instrument in the hand of the divine. He breathes through me, so I am here. He speaks through me, he eats through me, digests through me. All these things God does. So that is humility. Then adambitvam. When you have that kind of attitude, where is the question of you developing any kind of haughtiness or arrogance or high-handedness or superiority? Can you feel you are superior? You are singing better, you are playing better, you are studying better. Can you take pride that this is because I am superior to that other fellow who is not getting enough marks? No, you can't. God has decided to do something through me, something through him, something through her. He may not be good at studies, may be good at music. He may not be good at music, may be good at sports. So God is manifesting his powers through that person in a different way. That's why I always tell teachers, please don't tell children you are useless. It's not possible. If anybody was useless, they wouldn't have been born. There is a purpose, there is a utility, there is a goal for every child, the talent. Teacher's job is to find out what is that talent of that child. Once in Gulbarga, I keep telling, one child was there, he was so dull, and everybody was, scolding him. He was from a local village, couldn't read, couldn't write. So one day I asked him, anything that you know, you can't read, you can't write, you can't speak, can't even walk properly, what should I teach you? Anything that you know. He said, I love pottery, sculpting, clay, with clay. So we said, do something and show. And on one Sunday, he made small items out of clay, peacocks, and whatever he knew in the village, lamps and small diyas and things like that. I told, see, he has a talent. Creating something out of nothing is a big talent. Repeating, imitating is very easy. I tell you, read this, what is written is right. Write a new thing on a blank page, everybody shivers. But this fellow, out of a lump of clay, is creating small animals, creatures, toys. I really appreciated. I gave him a lot of encouragement. He became very confident because he was praised in front of people for his talent. So what if he doesn't know how to write or read or how to do mathematics? He has some talent which teachers have missed. So our education system, unfortunately, are not looking at child in a holistic way. And that is the reason why so much of mediocrity is there in the society. Excellence in their own field is not being encouraged. That's why this NIOS, that's why the opportunity for children to pursue their talents with which they are born. So this is the idea of adambitvam. Don't take unnecessary pride in what you are, because that also is divine manifestation, what you are doing. Then ahimsa, non-violence. Everybody knows non-violence means don't beat up the next fellow. But ahimsa is beyond that. Do you know there are 81 kinds of ahimsas? 81 types of non-violence. First is rata, karita and anumatita, it seems. Rita, karita and anumatita. Rita, you do it yourself. You beat up somebody, directly you have done violence. What is karita? You instigate somebody to go and beat up somebody. You know what? He was talking about you like this. She was talking about like this. Simply create jealousy, anger, make them fight. That is karita. You are the reason for it. Then anumatita. You have the capacity to stop it, yet you are simply sitting and watching and violence is going on. It happens, no? Some of the children, hey, tamasha, ugly, nodana. They don't want to stop. Why? They want to see who is more. So that is anumatita violence. You are allowing the violence to happen, though you could have stopped it. Then these are the 3 types, reasons for violence. Then what is there? Three origins of violence. What are the origins? Krodha, anger. You are angry with somebody, you want to be violent. Then lobha, you are greedy. You want to take something away from somebody because you don't have it. Whereas spiritualists, they only give and then they don't take anything in return. We know those 4 categories. So that is the idea of lobha. And moha. When you are attached to somebody, you become over-possessive. You become violent. In the sense, you start interfering into their lives. You had, dictating terms. You start controlling them. This is also a kind of violence. So moha is also a violence. Sometimes parents push their children to study a certain subject or a course. That's a violence according to me. You have violated the child's right to do what it is born to do. This is a violence of one of kind because of moha. So 3 types of origins. Then what ways you can do violence? Kaya, vacha, manasa. With physical violence you can do with the body. With words you can speak bad words and create violence, disturbance. And in your thought, you may not be able to have the power to beat up or say something, but in mind, in your heart of hearts, you are simply cursing the fellow, wishing them ill. This is also a kind of violence. This also should be avoided. And the last thing is 3 intensities of violence. Mrudu, Madhyama and Ati. Mrudu means soft violence, small slap. Madhyama means a big one thud on his head. And Ati means 10 minutes fight for the entertainment of the class. So all these are intensity of violence. How much violence you're doing. So multiply now 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. That is 81 types. So 81 ways you can be violent in your life. Imagine, we didn't even know. Now go and think how many of these 81 types you have practiced in your daily life. I'm sure some of them would have been there. If nothing else, I'm very good. I don't speak of ill word, but in my mind, I'm always thinking bad. I'm always cursing somebody. Physically you have avoided, verbally you have avoided, but mentally you are still a violent fellow. So this is all kinds of violence. So you have to practice non-violence, ahimsa, paramo dharma, it says Buddhism. Shanti, peace. What kind of peace? When are you at peace? When your mind, word, thought and deed are in tune with each other, that's when you are in peace. When you are thinking something but you are forced to say something else, you are not at peace. When you say something and you are not matching it with your deeds, you are not at peace. When all the three are in tune, then you are at peace. So that peace you must develop. And peace is of different kinds. I have already talked about it in the body, in the mind, in the spirit. We say three shantis. All scriptures say shanti. But it is not enough if you are at peace. First thing you should be at peace. Otherwise you can't help anybody else. But the other thing is that you should also not disturb anybody else's peace. That is violence. Somebody is in peaceful, happy state. You want to go and instigate and trouble. That also is not right. Not even humans, animals, trees. You should not have violence against anybody. We eat non-vegetarian food. How much violence is that? Those animals can't speak by, can't do anything. Sarvadu bhuta daya tirtham Agastya says. Having compassion for everybody itself is like a tirtha yatra. You don't have to have anything else. So violence is at different levels. Shanti also should be. That is why Shanti mantras are there in every Upanishad, every time we chant Shanti. Because Shanti is the most important virtue that one can have and one can give to others. The world is lacking peace. So that is the idea of Shanti. Arjavam, straightforwardness, no crooked talks. Manasekam, vachasekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam. That kind of arjavam, straightforwardness, simplicity in your dealings. Saying one thing here, doing one thing another place, this is all crooked ways. So we should not do that. Then Acharyopasanam, very beautiful. Acharya, who is Acharya? Acharititi Acharya. The one who practices alone is a teacher. Acharya. Then Upasanam. Upa, near, asanam means come and sit. So become close to your teacher, it is saying. It doesn't mean now you'll go knock on your teacher's door. That is not Acharya Upasanam. Acharati means the one who practices. Become close to him means what? Close in the virtues that man practices. A good person is there. He practices good things. How do you become close to that person? Close in your heart by practicing exactly what the person is doing. Krishna says, you follow what I say, you will become dear to me. It will become near to me. So near to God is dear to God. Dear to God is near to God, as I say. How do you become dear? By practicing what God is teaching. When teacher is teaching you, you follow, you become close to that. So idea is to become close in your mind, close in your heart by practicing the virtues is Acharyo Pasanam. Shaucham, cleanliness, very important. Both internal cleanliness and outer cleanliness. What is internal cleanliness? All our Arishat Vargas are the impurities inside. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsara. Cleaning that up is Shaucha. Outside cleanliness is keep your body, your mouth, your nails and feet and your room, your bed, trunk, everything neat and clean. So Shuchi is the cleanliness is next to godliness, I say. So if you want to become closer to God, that is what this chapter is saying. Cleanliness is important, both inside and the outside cleanliness. But again, if you don't keep cleaning, it doesn't stay clean. But Narayan Bhatt used to say, don't clean, keep clean. That is the best way of keeping things as they are. Don't clean means don't dirty and then clean it. Instead, always keep it clean. Never make it dirty. So this is Shuchi. Keep your mind always clean. Even if it becomes dirty with another thought, next day's prayers, repentance, forgiveness for God, all these things you can ask and clean up your mind. Then Sthairyam, stability of mind. One day you are a good boy, one day you are a bad boy, one day you are obedient, one day you are not obedient, one day you are happy, sad. This Sthairyam is not there. One intern told, Swami bless me. After going through Paravidya, I am blessed because I have developed ability, nobility and stability, she said. Generally, I say ability and nobility should be there. She told, you have also helped me with stability because of Paravidya. So that's Thairyam, to stay steady in various situations. Situations will change. You should remain steady. You should not fluctuate. Then Atma Vinigraha, able to control yourself, restrain yourself from doing things instinctively, impulsively. Impulse. Somebody says something, immediately one reaction. You are not reactive anymore. You must be able to think and respond correctly. That is Atma Vinigraha. Ability, that ability you should develop. Otherwise, what will happen? You will go on harming somebody, telling lies, beating up somebody, doing all kinds of things. How will you become close to God then? So, Atma Vinigraha. Whenever such instinct or impulse comes, hold your horses, as they say. Keep quiet. Mouth wants to speak and scold somebody. Keep quiet. Allow that 1 minute meditation, I'd call it. That minute only you have to close your eyes and say, I am divine, I am divine, I am divine. Then slowly your mind will calm down. Then you will behave in the right way according to your divine nature. So this practice. Then next shloka is Indiyartheshu vairagyam anahankaram evacha janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. It says Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Indriyartha gochara, I said in the last shloka, no? People run behind objects, sense objects. I want to eat nice things. I want to run behind. I want to wear this. I want to go there, see that, hear that. If it is good for your spiritual progress, no problem. Use your senses as it is needed. But if it is detrimental for your progress, then you should avoid. That is Indriyartheshu Vairagya. I'm not saying stop eating from tomorrow. Eat what is right, in the right quantity, at the right time. Perfectly okay. I'm not for this upavasa, I'm not for all these austerities. From the day one I've been telling. You don't have to do extreme austerities here, not required. But maintain the balance. Yukta ahara viharasya, as Krishna says. Everything should be in limits. So Indriyartheshu Vairagyam is kind of a limiting your Indriyas from unnecessarily doing or going behind things which are not good for you. Right? So that is Vairagya. Vairagya means Viraga. You develop dispassion towards it. It may be there, but it doesn't affect you anymore. A sannyasi is there. You keep a gold coin or you keep a diamond over there. He is not interested in it. Like I tell you, a dog is there. You call the dog and what it needs it will eat. You give bread, it will enjoy it more. Give it a gold necklace, it is not going to enjoy that. So your vairagya comes, dispassion comes when you think that it is not useful for your spiritual progress. If it's useful for your spiritual progress, please run after it. Get it. A guru's sannidhi, a scripture, practice, be after it. That time you should not develop. No, vairagya, I am not supposed to do. No, vairagya is only from those which are not supposed to be good for your spiritual growth. It does not allow you to practice other good qualities. Avoid those. So vairagya. But vairagya comes from viveka. Viveka means what is good for your spiritual progress, what is not good. Once you know that, you develop vairagya. This is not good for me. Diabetes people are there. They are not supposed to eat sweets. If they eat sweet, it will hurt their body. But if they don't have control, then what can you do? First you have to viveka, this sweet, it will harm me. Two, vairagya. I know it is tasty, but I have to avoid it still because it is going to harm me. So that is viveka and vairagya. That's why our teachers keep telling you, do this, don't do that, be like this, don't be like that. They try to help you develop viveka. And then if you develop vairagya on your own, good for you. If you don't develop on your own, then teachers have a way to teach you how to develop vairagya. So that is all the effort is. Viveka, vairagya are your two friends, remember. On right side keep viveka, on left side keep vairagya. And with that you can go anywhere in life and you will be safe. So indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankaram. Again this wrong identity. Anahankaram is not just ego. It's wrong ego. Wrong ego is what? I am the doer. Because of me everything happens. If I am not there, nothing will happen. And then divine decides to do anything, he can pick up anybody and make it do any work that it wants. So this kind of ahankara, wrong identification, I am the body, I am the doer, because of me, all this is false. Don't ever develop that. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. You must find this fault in your existence when you decide you identify yourself wrongly with the body. Why? Body is growing, janma, it is born. Mrityu also is going to happen. Everybody is born with a manufacturing date. Automatically expiry date is also coming, printed. You are going to expire one day for sure. Then vyadhi, in between you have diseases. And jara, old age. All of us have gone through that. Except death, everything we have gone through in this birth. And death also we have to embrace when the time comes. So you must find that this is the faulty way of existence, because the divine does not go through changes. He is never born, it never dies, never grows old, never gets diseases and decays. So I am divine, I am not the body. So this fault in your identification with the body, that ahankara which identifies with the body, should be gotten rid of, because as divine you should not. So who is undergoing changes? The body is undergoing changes. Somebody was saying in Ramakrishna ashram, some monk was sick. So next morning when they went and asked, oh sir, so you are sick, it seems you are not well. He said, I'm fine. No, but they said you have a high fever or whatever issue last night you were admitted. Oh, yeah, my body is sick. I'm fine, he said. So that clarity, that I am not the body, that clarity is very important. Next, 10th shloka, asakti anabhishwangaha putradhara grihadishu nityam cha samachitvam cha ishta anishta upapattishu. It says, asakti, detachment, and anabhishwangaha, and dissociating yourself from things which are not good for you. Same, something like vairagya, but he gives from whom? This asakti and anabhishwanga from whom? Putra, dara, grihadishu. From your children, wife means spouse, husband or wife as the case may be. Grihadishu means your property and things like that. Adi means all the other things, a long list of it. You should develop some kind of a dissociation and dispassion towards these things. Because biggest attachment is what? When we earn something and we think this is owned by me. Look at the attachment. Then says, Nityam cha samachitvam cha ishta anishto papattishu. Nityam cha samachittam. Always steady. Not on Monday, then Tuesday you're fluctuating, Wednesday you're steady, Thursday again gone. Every day, every moment, sada samachittam. How? Ishta anishta upattishu. When you receive favorable and unfavorable results, in both the situations you must remain unattached. Then you will say, I studied so much but I did not get enough marks. I always say, your job ended with your studying so much. Your job was nothing to do with the marks. Whatever marks came is okay. If you did not study well, then there is a problem. Many times we try many things. Sometimes it comes as a very favorable result immediately. Sometimes it doesn't come. What should we do? Should we become depressed and give up everything? No. I always tell, you ask only one question to yourself. Did you do your best? Was it all that you could do, or was there something that you could have done? Don't lie to yourself that time. Don't lie. Study by putting right efforts all the time, and the results will be acceptable. Maicha aranya yogena bhakti ravyabhicharini vivikta desha sevitvam arati janasansidhi. Very beautiful. It says, also those who are constantly ananya yogena, without breaking the connection with me, always they are connected to me in their mind. Yoga means connection. Ananya means without break, unbroken connection with God in every situation. Many people are there. You shake them up in the middle of the night, Sai Ram is what comes out of their mouth. In every situation. Why they are so connected? All the time this japa is going on inside. They are those. And then bhakti vyabhicharini, avyabhicharini means it doesn't shake, it doesn't move away. As I said, arti artharati jignasu bhakti is how? Unless they get what they want, their bhakti will not stay steady. It will move away. Till Krishna is kind to give them so that he develops them a little more encouragement. But real bhakti is what? Jnani bhakti. What are we trying to learn here? About jnana. Jnanis are those whose bhakti does not change. They are always steady. Right? So, avyabhicharini bhakti they should have. Then vivikta desha sevitvam. They have always like solitude. They don't like crowds and they don't want to sit with hundreds of people. A spiritual person enjoys solitude. And for him, it is solitude. It is not loneliness. A worldly person feels lonely. But a spiritual person enjoys the solitude of aloneness. Once a Swamiji was there, he was alone in the Himalayas. A journalist came and said, how can you live alone over here? Don't you feel lonely? He said, till now I was not feeling lonely, but now I am feeling lonely after you have come. Because you are so different from me, I feel suddenly, where am I? So, Vivikta Janasansari, he avoids unnecessary crowd. Cheap minds, they get together and discuss what? People. How is that fellow? How is she? How is he? Mediocre minds discuss events. What happened in that house? What happened in this place? How it happened? Great minds discuss ideas. Let us do this. Let us think of this. Best minds enjoy solitude. They don't discuss anything. So if you have developed this idea of solitudeness, not running away because you can't face people, you have done some mistakes, you don't want to deal with people, not like solitude, enjoying your what you call me time, that aloneness, that is beauty. That these people develop. Then arati janasansadi. They have developed disinterest in crowded places, in groups and in club memberships and all those things. They have developed disinterest. Why? What will they discuss over there? Are they going to discuss Bhagavad Gita? No. They are going to discuss all the other bhoga related, worldly things. Why do you want to be in that crowd? So they avoid crowds. So all those who can stay without a social media, mobile phone, all by themselves and enjoy that time, I tell you, they are all growing spiritually. But if you can sit by yourself, that is the best test of knowing how spiritual you have become, how much you are enjoying your own company. If you can't enjoy your own company, you think people are going to enjoy your company? Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. This is the two more qualities. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. Continuously they are meditating on the Adi Atma. Adi Atma means what is related to the Atmic self, what is related to divinity. There is Adi Bhuta, Adi Loka, and Adi Atma. So they are always constantly contemplating on the spiritual ideas. And Tattva Jnana Artha Darshanam. Why? Because they want to know that truth, Tattva Jnana, ultimate truth, Darshanam. They want to understand that philosophy, the truth. How do you understand? I don't understand, so I read books. That is also Adhyatma, Adhyatmic literature. Swadhyaya, as we say. Or Satsanga, you come to the company of good people, they will teach you good things. Because you're constantly interested in your welfare. Uddhared atmanatmanam atmanam sadayet. You have to help yourself, scriptures say. How? By going to the good company, by reading good books, by meeting good people. So help yourself. These are the people who are always constantly engaged in meditating on the higher truth because they want to realize the truth. So these are the qualities, 20 of them. Etad jnanam iti proktam, ajnanam yada to anyatha. This is what I call as knowledge. Then you will say, this is not knowledge, these are all qualities. He said, yes, these qualities will manifest in those who have the knowledge. Or if you start practicing these qualities, it will lead you to the knowledge. Remember that two-way traffic of mantra, drishtas? This is how it is. You develop these qualities, you will attain knowledge. You develop the knowledge, or these qualities will automatically manifest in you. So one of the two you have to do. Start from here or start from there, whichever is convenient to you. So this is how he says, this is knowledge, and anything against it, opposite to it is ignorance. If I do himsa, I am doing it out of ignorance. If I am egoistic, I am because of ignorance. If I am attached to my family, wealth, property, ignorance. If I love company of people, gregarious, chattering, ignorance. If I am not interested in spiritual literature, ignorance. If I am not interested in welfare of the society and my own welfare, ignorance. All this is signs of ignorance, but these qualities are signs of wisdom, knowledge. This knowledge will take you to the next level. What is the next level? Jnanam is over. Next is what? Gyayam. What is need to be known, that you should know. What is need to be known? The difference between kshetra and kshetrajna. Not theoretically, as an experiential reality. Theoretically now you know. If somebody asks you a question, please describe kshetra and kshetrajna. You will immediately write. All that which is known is kshetra. All that, the one who knows it is kshetrajna. But this is a theory. You don't understand it. You understand with an experience, direct, what you call as aparoksha anubhuti. See, in our hostel, we have taken care that you practice most of these. Yama, niyama are hostel discipline rules, I told. It comes in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Yama and niyama. Yama are external discipline, niyama is internal discipline. When our Paravidya time, they asked me, please give us some discipline rules. I told, just follow yama, niyama. What are yama qualities? You know? If you follow, you will know. Satyam, then ahimsa, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya. Tell truth, be non-violent, don't hoard things unnecessary, don't steal, don't hoard unnecessary, don't take away things which belong to others. Then brahmacharya, maintain yourself, maintain your sanctity, control your senses. Remember God all the time, brahmacharya. Then niyama, which is personal discipline, which are shaucha, cleanliness, santosha, contentment. You have done your best, whatever results come, you are happy with it. Then santosh, tapas. Tapas means that continuous, this adhyatma, what is a tattva jnanartha darshanam, continuously meditating, wanting to know the truth. It should be a burning, as if body is on fire. Like that you should always chase this idea of adhyatma. That is tapas, burning desire to know truth. Then, swadhyaya. How do we know the truth? Read good text, do your study. You have swadhyaya hour, you have mananam, you have paravidya. All these are swadhyaya. Then, Ishvara pranidhana. Ultimately, you can put your best efforts, but unless God's grace falls on you, you can't achieve. You can sow a seed, and water that, and plow the field. But if sun does not rise, there is no sunlight. That you can't control. No, you can control water, you can control soil, you can control the seed. Can you control the sun? Sun has to come. Like that, your clothes won't dry when sun doesn't come. So similarly, Ishvara pranidhana means complete surrender to the divine, without any conditions. Do this for me, then I'll do this for you. Not like that. Unconditional surrender is Ishwar Pranidhana. So these are our hostel rules, don't forget. This, even if you follow these rules, you'll end up with knowledge. Otherwise, you'll be ignorant. So, from here, I would go to the next shloka, which is about Jnanam is over. Now we have to know about Gyayam. Gyayam means the knower inside us. Who is that person? What does it look like? What are the properties? This is what I am going to talk about. Now slowly is coming to the Gyayam. What is to be known? We have to know this is kshetra, this is kshetrajna. How do we know this? By developing this knowledge. Kshetra part we have learned, other part also we have to learn. So jnanam gyayam, gyayam is the thing that needs to be known. So he says, gyayam yad pravakshyami yad gyatva amritam ashnute anadim matparam brahma na sat na asat taduchyate. Very complicated definition, but then it is the definition. What can you do about it? He says, what is to be known? Who is to be known? The knower inside us. Who is that who knows everything? What is that awareness? It is to be known. What is it like? He says, if you know that, you attain immortality. Some of you think, oh, immortality means I will never going to die. I will always be alive. Many people have tried that. Harita nimishat kalat sarvam. So that is not immortality. When we chant Mrityunjay mantra, we say, Mrityor mukshiya ma amrutat. Take us away from death, but not from immortality. What is death? Death is to the body only. Death is to the body, not to me. I am not the body. Chidananda Rupa I am. I am beyond Mrityu. I am beyond Jara, Marana, Vyadhi. So that idea of Amritattvam, he attains it. Attains means what? He develops deep conviction in that thing. So much so that nobody can shake him. When Alexander asked one saint, come here, I want to know how can you sleep so peacefully when I have not slept for years. He says, I am not coming. If you want, you come here. He said, you come here, otherwise I will chop your head. Because he thought by force he can get anything. This rishi said, chop my head, good riddance, body will go. Alexander got a shock. How could you say like that? Body is everything, right, for them? He said, body is nothing. In India, body is only an instrument, a vehicle. I live beyond that. That was a new thing for Alexander. That, they say, changed the whole perspective of Alexander. And he went back. After that, he never continued his conquests. He went back and he told, put my hands outside my coffin when you are taking me on the last. He fell sick also and final procession. So that people know that though I have conquered half the world, I am going back empty-handed. So he wanted to, this transformation happened to him only in India by some sage who was so convinced about his Amrutattvam. This is the idea of Amrutattvam. Bodies go, I don't go. I am divine, I am stay eternally. So that is the Amrutattvam. He attains Amrutattvam. Who comes to know of this truth. And Anadim, what is that truth? It is beginningless. It means it is endless also. It was always there, it is there, it will continue to be there. Bodies come and go, that remains. Tattvamasi, remember? That remains. And Matparam Brahma, it is under me means he is the Lord. Krishna here is talking about himself as the complete universal Lord, not as the body Krishna. He says that is called Brahma. Brahma means that is the name of that force, that power is called Brahma. Brahman we call, not the Prajapati Brahma who created the world. The Brahman part of Brahma is called that. Don't get confused. And how do we call it? Na sat, na asat taduchyate. If you say it is there, it's wrong definition. So is it not there? That is also wrong. Because anything which is there will cease to be there tomorrow. So this categorizing them as is or is not does not happen for Brahman. It was always there, it will continue to be there. It can't be divided in Desha, Kala, Paristhiti and other things like that. That's why our Taittiriya Upanishad says, no, those who have realized that Brahman, they call the Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is the sweetest, shortest definition of Brahman. They said Brahman, that state is like Satyam. Brahma vida apnoti param tadesha bhukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. They called it a satyam, truth. Truth means which doesn't change. Jnanam, it is completely aware. Remember, you know that now. What knows everything within us, that is the jnanam. Then anantam is infinite. There is no beginning and middle. It's everywhere, every place. So that is the definition they give. So this is what Krishna is saying, na sat, na asat. Same Keno Upanishad has very beautiful verses. Those who are interested in Upanishads can read Keno Upanishad. There also says, anyad eva tat viditat, atho aviditat adhi. It is different from what we know. It is different from what we don't know. It is something else, the Rishi is saying. And what is the iti shushruma purvesham? This is what those who have experienced that they have told. I do not know how to tell you this. I can only tell you that you think, is it like, it is this? I can't say it is this. Is it not this? This is also I can't say. For example, you see the light. You say, is it electricity? Yes and no, correct? Because electricity is the reason why it is there. The light is coming. But light is not just electricity. So you say light is not electricity. Is electricity light? Electricity is also not light. But light is also there because of electricity. You understand my point? If somebody asks, is light electricity? He says, no. Light is different, electricity is different. Okay, is electricity light? You are saying because of electricity only light is glowing. No, electricity is also not light. So what is electricity? It is neither light nor it is not the light. Because light is happening only because of it. Like that, this Atman is something which is everything, yet it is not any of these things. Last, some shloka Krishna had told in Vibhuti Yoga. I am that, I am not that. Both confusion. Rope is in the snake, snake is in the rope. Yet rope is not in the snake, snake is not in the rope. So Krishna says, it is not that which you know, it is not even that which you do not know. Because you know it wrongly, that's why I can't tell you this is how it is. So that is something that you have to be experienced. Yato vacho nivartante, aprapya manasasa, mind, faculty of senses, these all can understand the worldly Prakriti. It cannot understand the Jnayam. It only knows itself. Nobody else knows. It only knows itself. That is the idea. So how do I know that? Become that. How do you know God? Become God. That is the only way to know. And how does it feel like you become, after you become God? Some of these good qualities will start manifesting in you. You start reflecting these qualities in your character. That is how you know you are getting closer to divinity. I always say how quickly you come back to your zero peaceful state, that is the true test of how closer you are getting to your divinity. Faster you get back to your samatva bhava, faster it means you are progressing toward divinity. Till that day when you don't shake at all, absolutely steady, that is the final stage. So how is this? The qualities of it, sarvatappani padam, tat sarvatoshi shiromukham, sarvata shrutiman loke sarvama vritya tishtati. Very beautiful shloka. Its hands and feet are everywhere. Just now you said it does not have feet, it does not have hand. It means in every hand, in every feet, that only exists. Then tat sarvatokshi shiromukham, its eyes and head are everywhere. It means in everyone, everybody, that is only is there. Sarvata shrutimat loke, in all direction its ears are. It's listening to everything. And Sarvamavritya tishtati. It has encompassed, embraced everything and it is staying that way. Now, how can this happen? Remember Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, what did I tell you? It is not about one big, huge personality with thousands of hands and heads. It's about Arjuna seeing the presence of Krishna, that experience of Krishna in everybody who was there in the battlefield. Even far away galaxies, he's able to see Krishna's presence. How? Not as a physical Krishna, as an understanding that this all is the same one divinity. This is the idea here. That divinity is like everywhere, in everyone. How encouraging it is, Indian thought. You are divine. How encouraging it is. You just don't know that you are divine. Otherwise, you are divine as you are. How powerful is this thought? When BD Baba, they call it, in Bombay. He went to his guru first time. He used to sell BDs and all that in a Pantela. When he went to his guru just told him about Brahman and told, you are Brahman. Hold on to this thought. That's all he told. He sincerely, honestly trusted his guru. I am Brahman. And just by trusting, he realized Brahman. Didn't do any rituals or things like that. Because he had to run his shop, he has to run his family. Once in 2 weeks, he could go to his guru who was living far away from somewhere near Pune. And he was situated in Mumbai. But he would go every 2 weeks just to see the guru. Because he'll feel so happy. And the guru didn't tell him anything. He said, you are divine as you are. Just believe. He said, but all BD selling and BD smoking and my family, my children, my shop, am I still divine? He said, yes, you are divine. Trust me. He just trusted his guru. That one faith, belief in conviction in Guru's word. He realized he became Jivan Mukta. So this is the power of that force, that thought, that idea. And this is what Sahasra Shirasha, Purusha, Sahasra Akshat, Sahasrapat, all this is told in Purusha Suktam also. One small example for children. What does it mean for you? God is everywhere, in everything, in every place. There is nothing which is empty of God. There is a story, one boy was told by the teacher, all students in the class were told by the teacher, take this banana and eat in a place where nobody is watching you. And everybody went, hid behind the tree, somebody hid in the bathroom, somebody hid under the table, but they finished their bananas nevertheless. One fellow came back, said, I couldn't eat my banana. Teacher said, what is the reason? Who was watching you? He said, God was watching me, because God is everywhere. Therefore, I could not eat my banana hiding from him. See, this is the idea. If we know God is watching you, if you know God is watching you at all times, at all places, how will you behave? You will behave accordingly. So that is how it is. Sarvatappani, never forget this shloka. How else it is? Beautiful definitions. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatvad avijneyam durastam chantike chatat. It is inside, outside, everywhere. And it is in those which are moving and those which are not moving. So is it there in this furniture? Of course it is there. Is it there in the mic? Yes, it is there. It is in the wall? Yes, it is there. How we know? Prahlada's father asked, is he there in this pillar? Yes, he is there. He broke the pillar and came out. Narasimha Avatara. The idea is that God is everywhere. Even in the inanimate He is there. See, how can we be violent to God? Animate itself, we should not do violence. Inanimate also. That's why we were very clear. Why do we do Bhumi Puja? When we do Bhumi Puja, we pray to Goddess Bhumi. Amma, we are going to dig you. We are going to make a hole. We are going to put pillars into you. We are going to trouble you in so many ways. There are many beings who have taken shelter in you. They are small insects and other microbes. They may all be disturbed. Please forgive us. We believe that Bhumi is alive. We believe rivers are our mother. Just now I told Ganga Yamuna. In inanimate also there is God. This idea comes again in many Upanishad. Tade jati, tanne jati, taddure, tadvantike, tadantarasya sarvasya, tadu sarvasya bhayataha. Isha Upanishad. It's inside, outside, everywhere. It is near, it is far. But why are we not able to see? Are we able to see electricity? Not able to see. Like that, this is sukshma. This is very subtle concept it is. It is there. See, now in this room, everything we are able to see. What are we able to see? We are able to see all the objects which are in the room. We are able to see all the people who are sitting over here. How are we able to say? Because light is there, we are able to see. But are you able to see the light itself? We are not able to see the light. No, I am seeing bulb. But the light which illuminates this whole place is invisible. But in its presence, everything else becomes visible. Space, for that example. We are all sitting in a space, Premamurtam space. We can see the walls. But if I remove the wall, can we see the space? We can't see the space. Sun is shining. Because sunshine falls on the moon, we are able to see the moon. If moon is not there, it just passes through the space. It's a dark space. You can't see anything. So all this is illumined by the light, but the light itself is not visible. All this is in a space, but the space is not visible. Like that, this Atman is everywhere. This God is everywhere. Divinity is everywhere, but not visible. But can be experienced. How? Through its reflection in the world. All the beauty and variety in the world is God's reflection. All the good and nice things in the world are God's purest reflection. So that is how you know God exists. That this is the idea that it's inside, outside, everywhere, but difficult to know because it is sukshma. And 17th shloka says, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva chastitam. Though it is indivisible, yet it seems that it is divisible, it is divided. Like electricity is indivisible, but now in every bulb it looks like it has been divided. Every bulb has its own electricity. So though it is one, though it looks like many, it is only an illusion. It's not the truth. It appears so. So Bhuta Bhartra, it sustains everyone. Tadnyayam Grasishnu Pravavishnucha. It is the one which destroys, creates and sustains. All three functions it does. This power. Because of this power only creation happens. Because this power sustenance happens. Because of this power only everything becomes finally laya. It merges back into nothing. Space you see. From space only came no air, water, earth, whatever. Then we came. After we live in space, everybody is living in this space. And then after we die, where do we go? We become one with the earth in the elements and then we go back into the space. We disappear. So like the space is supporting everything. Like that's subtler than the space is divinity. Space is not sky. Space is not air. Air comes after space. First there was space, then air. Science only recognizes 4 elements. Air, water, earth and fire. But our scriptures recognize space as the basis because in this everything else exists. This whole Premamatam hall exists in the space of this particular area. This area exists in the space of Chikbalapura. Chikbalapura exists in the space of India. India exists in the space of Earth. Earth exists in the space of the solar system. Solar system exists in the whole space of the Milky Way. Milky Way exists in the universe. Like that, it's a space which permeates everything. Inside the atom also there is space and outside Anoraniyan, Mahatomayan. So that is why when we talk about God, because we cannot know how it is, the closest is space. Because from that first thing that emerged was space. So it is the closest in terms of its properties or qualities or explanation to God. So this is how it creates, sustains and destroys. Jyotisham api tadjyotihi tamasaha paramachyate jnanam jnanam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vitishtitam. He says that is the jyoti of all jyotis, light of all lights, highest light. That is what chakshushta chakshu. What is the eye of the eye, mind of the mind, prana of the prana, that one. So it is highest illuminating thing. What illuminating thing means? When sun rises, we can see things. When sun is not there in dark, we can't see. So we say sun has illumined everything. Like that, this Atma within us, this ability to know things is known as illumination. Suppose my ears are, I am deaf. It means my ears are not illumined to hear sounds. I am blind. My eyes are not illumined to see the things. Doesn't mean things don't exist. They exist. I'm not able to see because somehow that faculty is not illumined by the power of the self. Whatever is the reason, our karma phala and all that. So likewise, this illumines everything, and like sun does not have a shadow, sun does not have a darkness of its own. Likewise, because it is self-illumined, anything that is illumined by something else will form a shadow. Something which creates light, it can't have a shadow. So sun does not have a shadow. Like that, this is also beyond all tamas, all darkness. Vedahametam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasa parastat tameva vidvan amruta hibhati nanya panthayana vidyate. Purusha Suktam says. That is the ultimate, which is beyond all the darkness, is the highest luminous thing. Luminous thing doesn't mean it's a big star. Sun is this big, is bigger than that. No. It is only the ability to let us become aware of everything. That ability is so powerful. It doesn't need anybody's support. It is self-supporting. And it is beyond all ignorance. Nobody can say it has some ignorance of something. It knows everything. That is why Jnanam Anantam. Then it is the Jnanam. This is the true knowledge you must know. That's what Krishna is saying. Physics, math, chemistry, botany, all these things are okay. But this is Paravidya. This is the knowledge you must know. If you have known everything and not this, you have known nothing. That's what it means. Jneyam. This is the one to be known. Jnana Gamyam. And all the efforts of knowledge should be directed toward this one and only goal. So should I stop learning physics, chemistry, mathematics and all those things? No. That is to sustain the kshetra. But to know the kshetrajna is the important part of the education. That is why we have added Paravidya so very emphatically in our system. It was there, but it was not very well being done. Now it's done with great intensity. Because I want every child by the time they graduate to at least have some understanding of this concept. See, this is our India's contribution to the world. This is our Rishi's contribution to the welfare of the world. This is the only way out. Nanya pantayana vidyate. I am so deeply convinced about this. No other way we can save the world. Only way is teach people how to realize their divinity, allow them, enable them to behave according to their divine nature. They will not harm anybody. Forget about a human being. They won't harm even a plant, not even a small insect. Why? Because they know everything is divine. And they will behave correctly. All these good qualities manifest. World will become a peaceful place. This is my way to Vishwashanti, not the other ways. But of course, people are sick, people are unhealthy. First, you have to give them food, health, so that they will listen to this concept. If I don't give them and they're hungry, they're sick, how will I teach them spirituality? Don't preach on an empty stomach, Swami Vivekananda said. So that is why also we have to look after your physical needs, safety, all those things. But beyond that, the bigger idea of this education is to teach you this knowledge. So this is the idea. Next shloka 19th. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam jneyam choktam samasataha madbhakta eta vijnaya madbhava yupapadyate. He says this is the knowledge of kshetram. Remember kshetram 24 aspects. Then jnanam for 20 aspects of jnanam. All the manifestation. Then Jneyam, what is to be known? This is to be known. Which one? Which is inside, outside, everywhere. Which is sustaining everything. Which is what is bringing out things. Which is what is swallowing everything back. Which is everywhere, yet we can't point out and say it is here, it is not there. So this is the idea of that thing which has to be known. And that is Brahma, he says, Krishna. Anadi Brahma. Beginningless Brahma. That understanding we have to develop. Once we develop that, what happens to it? Amrutatvam. Amrutatva, we develop the sense of immortality. No fear will chase us. Nobody can bind us. Like that sage who could not be tortured by Alexander the Great. All others bowed in front of Alexander. Why? Out of fear of death. If you have conquered the fear of death, what is there left for you to fear? If you die, nothing else remains, right? So what is, if you know that you are not afraid of death, he can do anything. Such a person is the mightiest. Yama also says that such a person even Yama is afraid of. Because how can he go to such a person who is not afraid of Yama? Yama generally goes and scares people. But he welcomes Yama. Come Yama, have a cup of tea and after that you will leave. Like that. They are unafraid, fearless people. Abhayam. That is pure fearlessness comes only from this knowledge. That is why Krishna says develop this knowledge. And the one who develops this, he is my true bhakta, mad bhakta. Because he really, bhakta means what? He should follow what Bhagavan is telling. He truly follows what I have said. And etad vijnaya madbhava upapadyate. Once he knows this, he gets absorbed in madbhava, in my consciousness. Always he feels divine. Not a moment such a person will think I am anything less than divine. I am a wretched fellow, I am useless, I am no good. All these ideas only don't occur to that person. Because all the time is immersed in that divinity, is tanmayaha. completely absorbed in that thought. Who knows this truth that he is divine and all the other things are external manifestations of his own kshetra. But he is the kshetrajna, the one who knows. So prakritim purusham chaiva viddhaya anadi ubhavapi vikaranshcha gunanshchaiva viddhi prakriti sambhavan. He says prakriti and purusha. Two more things Arjuna had asked. Kshetra, kshetrajna. In that we have learnt about kshetra. Jnanam, jneyam. We have learnt about jnana and jneyam, what is to be known. Then Prakriti and Purusha he asked. Prakriti and Purusha is teaching now. So what is left to be learned after these two also? Kshetrajna. Okay. So you are awake. Now 20th shloka says that Prakriti and Purusha. Now there are two more concepts. So they say there are two things, Prakriti and Purusha. And what are these things? They are there from the beginning. They are always there. You are saying, but my body came and went. Yes, body went. But what made the body, that was always there. The ingredients were always there. They manifested this body. After this body disappears, again those ingredients will be there in avyakta form. Again one more body will form. So the material is always there, like gold is there. No, melt the gold, you make a bangle. After bangle is melted back, what happens? Bangle has disappeared, gold has not disappeared. Then gold can be cast into a chain. Now chain has appeared, bangle disappeared. But the one who has seen the entire process, the jeweler, he knows this bangle is only this chain. Why? Because both are made of the same gold. Likewise, what you were in your previous birth and what you are now, you are the same person. Just that your form, name, everything is looking different because you born to a new family, new parents. Similarly, this time when you leave, next time you may be born in another family. Your face, name, according to your genetic makeup, you look different. But within you, there is something which is not changing. That is what we have to focus on. So he says, Prakriti is that part that is changing. Purusha is that part which is within you, which is not changing. It is hanging there within you. Like bulbs are changing, electricity is not changing. Suppose some of the bulbs, let's say one of those bulbs has got fused, right? So I will call the electrician and say, hey, that bulb is fused, replace it. He'll replace the bulb. Then what happens? New bulb has come, again electricity starts flowing. New body comes, again we start living. So this is the Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Shayanam. This Jatara and Jananam is Prakriti. The Punarapi part of it, how it happens is Purusha. It brings everything back. But those who are interested, please study about Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira. Stula Sharira is the physical body, that is the Prakriti. Sukshma Sharira is what you call as the subtle body, which is consisting of only your minds, your thoughts, your emotions, your memories. After you die also, these remains. And Prana, which leaves the body and joins this. And finally, the Karana Sharira, causal body. That is the Avyakta where you exist, even beyond your mind. There is a map, memory map like thing. There is an impression map, which always is there. And again, when you come back in this world, on that only you develop. That's why some children are born singers. Some people are born footballers. Some people are born intelligent, better than computers. Child prodigies. How does it all happen? That is remaining there. That Purusha is carrying that load every time to bring you in the new body. So this is what happens. So Prakriti and Purusha are always like a pair. They are always together. Purusha means, Pura means a place and Shaya means the one who stays. So where he stays, this Purusha? In Prakriti. Which is Prakriti? This kshetra, this whole body and mind. So Purusha stays. Where does electricity stay? In the bulb, in the wires. It doesn't stay external to it. It is inside. And that is what takes different colors and forms based on the change in the bulb. So this is the idea of they are there from the beginning, they are still there. Vikaranshcha gunanshchaiva viddhi prakriti sambhavan. But because of modifications, change of the bulb, change of the body, these are vikaras. You look different. They look different from each other, but they are always there with each other. Because of vikara changes, modifications in your body or in your mind, in your gunas. Now what are these gunas? Next chapter is going to describe in great detail, but there are three gunas basically. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Simple definition, Sattva means all that is divine, noble, good, peaceful, sweet, nice. Rajas, all that is full of passion, attachments, all the various emotions, they come under Rajas. Tamas, laziness, lethargy, inertia, indolence, that is Tamas. These are the three qualities. Tamas is very high during nights when we go to sleep or during a boring class. Tamas becomes very high, it takes over and puts us to sleep. Rajas, football ground, cricket ground or hostel corridors, look at the Rajas. And then Sattva, you come to meditate, pray, that time neither you are running nor you are sleeping, you are listening, you are learning, that is Sattva. So these three qualities only guide our entire life. So because of the changes in these qualities, we behave differently, true or not. When Tamas becomes more, you sleep off. When Rajas becomes more, your super active cone can't be controlled. When Satya becomes more, you are meditative, you live in solitude, you live in peace. So we behave differently whole day. Why? Because these qualities are changing. That is what he's saying. Vikaranshta gunashchaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavana. All the nature that we follow, our good boy, bad boy, helpful, not helpful, lazy, active, all these because of the gunas that are already inside us. So before the creation came into existence, the ingredients like gunas came into existence. And then based on the changes in differences gunas, different types of personalities were created. Devas were created with more of sattva. Manavas were created with more of rajas. And Daityas, Danavas were created with more of tamas. They all existed. And in each of them, a little bit of other portions are also there. So that is how the one who shows a lot of sattva qualities, we say is like Devaragiddanavaru. He is like a god. And somebody who does not show sattva and too much of tamas, what we call, who troubles everybody, avaru Rakshasru. We tell no, he is a demon. Why? Because of the qualities. So this is how Prakriti keeps changing, but Purusha remains the same. See, this is what you should not forget. Purusha is inside Prakriti. So, two reasons why this happens. Karya karana kartritve hetu Prakriti uchyate. What is the role of Prakriti? Cause and effect. You sow a seed, you reap a harvest. Cause and effect. You do a good deed, and you'll get a good result. Do a bad deed, get a bad result. This is the nature of Prakriti. So, it is the reason why Karya and Karana, what happens and why it happens. So, you are experiencing a lot of joy today because you have done something good today. Experiencing a lot of misery because you have done something bad today. And even if you have not done, maybe you have done sometime in some birth, which is what is reflecting now. This karma does not leave us. See, karma and punarjanma, these are the two solid fundamental principles of Sanatana Dharma. This is in Buddhism, this is in Jainism, this is in most of the religions, except a few religions of the world, everybody believes in karma at least, if not punarjanma. So this karma, cause and effect, that's why we go to hell and heaven, no? That is how they define. So this is Prakriti is nature. This is because of this Prakriti which is made of gunas. So what is Purusha's work? Purusha's is Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Heturuchyate Purusham. The experience, what happens after you get a result, bad or good, happy or sad, this is experienced by the Jiva. See, body is not experiencing bad and good. The Jiva inside us which is making the body come alive, making the mind act and behave, that is the one which is witnessing and experiencing all these things within us. The Chetana, remember, 124 parts. So that is the aspect of Purusha in us. In our terms, it is called Jivatma. The Atma which has got captured inside the Jiva, in the Prakriti, is called Jivatma. The electricity which has got stuck inside that bulb is called the Jivatma. The total electricity is called Paramatma, Para. It is beyond the bulb. But what has got trapped into the bulb, that is called as Jivatma. So that part of God which is in you, which is making everything happen through you, that part is Purusha. And that part is the reason why you experience everything. If that leaves you, you will fall dead next moment. Nothing will remain. Once it leaves, nothing remains. Body will decay and decompose in half a day. Only that is present, Chetana is present, that's why we are able to experience everything. So that is the Purusha which is going through the Sukha, Dukkha, Bhoktritva. It is the enjoyer or it is the experience of Sukha, Dukkha. So that is how we know whether I am happy or sad. Behind the mind it exists, it tells mind, you are happy now. It tells mind, you are sad now. How? Because it is the awareness. In Veda Pathashala is there. Two birds on the same tree. The lower bird is eating fruits, bitter and sweet, becomes happy and sad. And once it looks up and sees the upper bird, so peaceful and happy, it wants to become like that. Then slowly it climbs branch by branch and realizes that we are not two, we are one only. When I eat fruits, I behave like the lower bird. When I don't eat fruits, I behave like the upper bird. So in this body exists two, that's what they say. When you are Jivatma, you are enjoying the fruits of your actions. Sukha, Dukkha is coming. You are experiencing positive and negative emotions. Like the little bird which is eating the bitter and sweet fruits. But the moment you stop, you distance yourself from the mind and you become the upper bird, you realize you are Paramatma only. You are only that electricity flowing everywhere, not in the bulb alone. You are everywhere. So that idea is being told here that Purusham in the body is like the Jivatma, otherwise it is the Paramatma, the upper bird. Purusha Prakritistho, he bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan. Because Purusha is stuck inside the Prakriti, like the electricity is inside the bulb, it is experiencing the bulb at that moment. Why it is experiencing? Karanam Gunasangosya Sat Asat Yoni Janmasu. Because of the gunas of the Prakriti, red bulb will show redness. of light. Electricity has not become red. But if you are the electricity inside that bulb, you will think, I am red now. Or if the green bulb is there, how you will think, I am green now. For example, now you are in a boy's body, the Atman. I am a boy. When it goes into girl's body, it's a girl. So the same electricity thinks that it is changing its forms and names. Sunlight is there, right? If it comes through a colored glass, red colored glass, and falls on the floor, what color does it look like? It looks like red color. And when it comes through a blue colored glass, it looks like blue color. But does sunlight have any color of its own? No, it's pure, colorless. Water is colorless, unless the tank is not clean. But if you put it in a colored bottle, a yellow color bottle, from far what does it look like? Yellow water. In red color bottle, red water. That's how our vendors, street vendors sell. They put colors in the same sugar syrup and sell it to different children. Last time you had green color, no, today you have yellow color. That child innocently buys one more drink. But nothing has changed actually. So this is how the Purusha experiences differences in this world. In you he behaves one way, in she behaves another way. The same Purusha is behaving and experiencing as if it is becoming you and she and everybody else. Like the water starts thinking I have become red because everybody is calling me red. Bulb starts thinking I have become green because everybody is calling me green. But electricity is not changing. That electricity is Purusha, but it appears to be stuck with the Prakriti, therefore it behaves differently at different times. So now the answer is to your one question, that why am I behaving differently from being God? Why I am not behaving like God all the times? Because I get attached to my body, attached to my emotions, attached to my mind, and get sucked into that idea that I am body and the mind and start experiencing the joys and sorrows. When I become detached from it and see it from a distance, I don't experience joys and sorrow. That is the idea. So this is how Vakaranam Guna Sangosya, because it gets attached to the gunas of the body, the Prakriti, the Purusha within, I think unchangeable, yet it becomes attached and behaves as if it is experiencing good and bad things. Now you know why you behave badly or good despite being God, because of this Prakriti which is full of gunas, and once Tamas Guna takes over, you behave like a demon. Rajas Guna takes over, you behave like a very ambitious human, and when Sattva Guna takes over, you behave like divine. This idea that because of this you are born in different wombs, different houses based on your gunas. If you have sattva gunas, next birth you will take in a good household where everybody is sattvic. They'll help you to progress further. If you are rajoguna, you will be born in a family which is always rajas. Tamoguna, born in a tamoguna family. Kathopanishad Yama declares this. Yoni manye prapadyante sharirattvaya dehina sthanum manye anusayanti yatha karma yatha shrutam. Based on what you have learned, what you have heard, what you have practiced in your previous birth, you will be born accordingly in different kinds of wombs, different kinds of parents, different kinds of families, different environments. So if you are born in a sattvic family, you have to really congratulate yourself. You must have done something good. So that parents are devoted, all your family members are devoted, they don't come in your way of your spiritual progress, you are very lucky. Otherwise, imagine the plight of Prahalada. He was born in Hiranyakashipu's family. Why was he born? That is because there is a karma. Hiranyakashipu had to be redeemed by Narayana. Therefore, this was the drama played. But otherwise, we are born according to our last deeds. Even earlier chapters, Krishna has talked about whatever your last thoughts are, whatever you have done, accordingly you will be born. So this is the idea. But our Mundaka Upanishad says, the one who has finished all your desires, paryapta kamasya kritatmanastu, ihaiva sarve praviliyanti kamaha. The one whose all desires are fulfilled, he is free, not attached anymore to anything, anyone. Such a person is redeemed. They don't have to take another birth. Same thing Krishna is also going to declare over here. What else it does, that Jiva Purusha within us, it does. Upadrishta, it is a close witness to everything. It doesn't participate. Some boy wrote yesterday, Swami, why do I see bad things if God only is seeing everything through me? God is not interfering in your decision to see bad or good. God is simply ability to help you see anything that you want to see. Like a knife. You want to cut an apple with it? Yes, cut an apple. Knife is not doing anything. It's only a knife. If a doctor uses the knife and saves the patient, that is also knife's job. So electricity is not doing anything. Electricity is just a witness. Upadrashta. And how is the witness? Upa, close witness. Nobody sees you as closely as this Purusha, the part and parcel of God in you. It sees you closely. Anumanta. See, this is the reason. Anumantam, it permits you to do whatever you want. It doesn't interfere. It's your wish. Why? Because your gunas are pushing you to do something. It will only provide you the ability to achieve that. It will not interfere. That's why do I see bad things when God is inside me? Because your gunas, which are the part of your mind, do not allow you to do good things. So that next chapter explains how do I overcome these gunas, how do I develop better gunas. All this will come in the next chapter, so pay attention. Then he says, this is the bharta, but this is only sustains you. Without this electricity, bulb will not glow. Like without this divine presence, Purusha within, body will not going to function. It is only bhokta. In a way, it enjoys everything that the body goes through. Enjoys means suffers also, apparently. Like electricity looks like colored because of the colored glass or colored bulb. But Maheshwara, but it is Lord. It is supreme. It is not affected truly. Then Paramatmeti, this only is the ultimate electricity also, Paramatma. This is Jivatma, Purusha is called Jivatma, the same thing is Paramatma also. When it is not limiting itself to that bulb, it suddenly realizes, I am not the one stuck in this bulb, I am the whole circuit, I am everywhere. Like the space is everywhere. Today it's called Premamritam space. This is called stage, that is called audience space, bathroom, bedroom. All these are divisions of the space. But if I break all the walls, all space will become one. So same Jivatma only is Paramatma is declaring. This is again equating Jivatma with Paramatma. And cha api yukto dehesmin Purusha Paraha. That Paramatma is also in this body only. Dvasuparna, two birds, no. But actually there are no two birds, there are no two electricity. Shloka is saying like that. This Purusha's true nature is what? He only is Paramatma. That Purusha only is Paramatma. This is being declared over here. It is also residing in the body. Now you cannot say, oh, Paramatma I thought lives in some heaven, Vaikuntha. No, it doesn't. The God doesn't live. That is one form of God that lives there. But the true Nirakara God lives in everyone. This is the idea. But why are we not realizing it? Similar, because of ignorance. Paramatma is what he is. But when he enters the Prakriti, he behaves according to the Prakriti. Like an employee starts behaving in front of his boss, or a student starts behaving well in front of his teacher. So that is how Prakriti's presence makes the Purusha behave, appears to make Purusha behave differently, but that Purusha only is Paramatma. 24th shloka, ya evam vetti purusham prakriti cha gunai saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasa bhuyobi jayate. What is the falashruti of this knowledge? What do you attain out of it? It says, once you know this difference between Prakriti and Purusha, what are their qualities and how this guna is doing this, at that point of time, even though you are living in the body, you are free. Once you know that you are Purusha and not the Prakriti, you are being dragged into everything because of your association with Prakriti. The moment you distance yourself, you are free. When you are free, here and now. And such a person does not have another birth. Why? Because there are no desires left. Prakriti creates desires. No desires left. You are free. That is the idea. So, such a person is called Jivan Mukta or Videha Mukta. When he is in body, he is called Jivan Mukta. As he is now, he is free. And when he leaves the body, he is called Videha Mukta. He is free then also. That mukti, that moksha is the essence of our scriptures. That is the goal of all our lives. What is mukti? Not something to be attained in some place, somewhere, sometime. Here and now, ability to differentiate between the Purusha and the Prakriti, kshetra and the kshetrajna. That ability itself will make you free. Let somebody try to make you sad, you will not become sad. You will say, mind may go through some emotions, I am not the mind. That is why this Nirvana Shatakam has been instituted. Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, naham, na cha shrotra jihve, na cha grana netre, na cha vyoma bhumi, na tejo, na vayu, chidananda rupa, shivoham, shivoham. All those aspects of Prakriti, kshetra have been incorporated into this. So you have to be reminding yourself all the time. That's how you will attain it. So if we don't know that I am only that Purusha, therefore we go through the misery. So this is the story of 10 friends who crossed a river. And after crossing the river, by swimming, they decided we will count whether we are 10 or not. So they started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He said, only 9 are there, 10th is not there. You count, that fellow, next fellow started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 are there, 10th is not there. All 9 of them counted, all 10 of them counted that there are only 9. Why? They are not counting themselves. So one guru came, he saw they were all crying. We lost one fellow in the river. So the Guru said, no, you are counting it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Then he said, oh yes, we are 10. Everybody tried. Oh yes, we are 10. Suddenly they are happy now. But truth is that were they really 10 or were they 9? They were 10 only. They counted it wrongly. This wrong counting has caused misery. This wrong understanding of Purusha that it is Prakriti has caused the misery. The moment you can count right, it means the moment you can differentiate the two, this is Prakriti. It goes through its motions, changes, vikaras. It's its nature. I can't help that. And I am not that. I am different from that. Immediately your misery is gone. These are 10-step Viveka there. Ajnana, Avarana, Vikshepa, Paroksha Jnana, Aparoksha Jnana, Dukkha Nivrutti, Ananda Prapti. These are the 7 steps in which you attain the wisdom, they say. First is Ajnana, wrong counting. Then Avarana. Despite all standing, you are not able to see yourself, so you are not counting yourself in. Vikshepa, then you conclude wrongly. We are only 9, one has died. Then Paroksha Jnana, a teacher will come and tell, count properly, you are 10. Okay, we are 10. Then Aparoksha Jnana, you count yourself, then you realize directly, yes, we are 10. What teacher is saying is true. Then Dukkha Nivritti, immediately all your sorrow disappears. Ananda Prapti, you attain happiness. Similarly, we are counting ourselves as Prakriti, but we are Purusha. We are counting ourselves as Kshetra, but we are kshetrajna, the knower of the whole thing. Such a person who realizes this becomes free, and such a person is never born again, in the sense never bound by. They may be born if God wills. They have to come to help others, they will be coming. But they have graduated, they have passed their exams. They don't have to come to the same class. They may come back as a teacher to teach some more people about that knowledge, but they are not forced to come back into this class. 25th shloka, Dhyanena Atmani Pashyanti Kechid Atmanam Atmana. How do people realize this difference? Some people do dhyana. Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma. They continuously meditate. So much so that like that boy, the truth reveals itself. So some people do dhyana. Through that they hold that one thought steadily in their mind, and through that they attain the truth. Kechid Atmana, some people, Kashchid Dhira, because all our senses, Paranchi Khani, they keep running outside, getting them back is very difficult. But somebody, Kashchid Dhira, Pratyagatmana Mayakshat, Avrita Chakshuhu, Amritat Swarup. So that person who can turn his gaze inwards. Why? Because he wants immortality, he wants to understand the truth. Such a person can do dhyana. Otherwise, all the time our attention is outside, not within us. Such a person sees the self in the self by the self. What is the instrument of knowing? Yourself. Where you will know yourself? In yourself. Whom you will know? Yourself. So is this jnanam jneyam tatha jnata tritayam nasti vastavam. This is another concept of Vedanta. The knower, knowledge and the known, all are one only. What else happens to others who cannot do dhyana? Some people are there. The moment they sit for dhyana only, their mind runs everywhere. Sankhya Yoga, Anye Sankhyena Yogena. Sankhya Yoga is what? Second chapter was there. Analytical knowledge. Definition of God is unchangeable. I am supposed to be God, but this body is changing. So I am not the body. So this whole Nirvana Shatakam is Sankhya Yoga. Neti, neti, neti. This is not me, this is not me, this is not me, this is not me. After discarding everything, what remains is only me. So Nirvana Shatakam discards almost everything. What remains is Chidananda Rupaha. That is what Shivoham. Shiva means not Lord Shiva. Shiva means auspiciousness, goodness. That alone I am. So this is the idea. So Sankhya Yoga you can do, analysis you can do. Or Karma Yogena Chapre, even that is not possible for me, then Karma Yoga is given for you. Karma Yoga we read in the first 6 chapters, a lot of Karma Yoga. In that what is he saying? Do your duty, offer it to God, purify your heart. In that purity God will manifest. That's why I say purity is equal to divinity. Purify how? By selfless service. Are we giving you an opportunity to do selfless service in our institutions? Yes. If you can't do dhyana, do Sankhya, read a lot of scriptures, listen to these discourses, analyze them, mananam you do. Not able to get that right, do selfless service. Someday you will be able to purify yourself. Your mind will become steady, and then you will realize divinity. Even that is not possible. What can you do? Anyetvet Anyetu evam ajanantaha shrutvanyebhya upasate. All others who can't even do, they don't even know this concept, they listen to the people who know about it. So Guru meva abhigachet. They go to a Guru and ask the Guru, please teach us about this knowledge, because they're interested in it. And what are they? Shruti parayanaha. They are interested in the scriptures. Shastrasya. We remember Shraddha. They have Shraddha. Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddha Avadharanam. They were very, very, very interested in what Guru is saying, what scriptures are saying, and they try to believe and try to follow. What happens to them? Tebi cha atitarantyeva mrutyum. They also cross over this death. Death means death of the body and not yours. You will realize that and you become immortal. And The next one is says, Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra sanyogat tadviddhi bharatarshaba. Whatever you see in this world, moving or unmoving, you may say, this is a stone. Is there consciousness in the stone? Is kshetrajna in the stone? Is Purusha in the stone? Yes, our scriptures say yes. Stone is not dead. Stone is also alive. In that also there is divinity. Remember the story of Gyanadeva, when one sage comes to meet him, one yogi with Siddha, who comes on a tiger, sitting on a tiger, keeping a snake as the leash to the tiger. And he comes to Gyanadeva. Gyanadeva says, what is going on? Namadeva or Gyanadeva, one of them. So what is that you are doing? He says, Gyanadeva says, oh, you have come on a tiger. And he did not have any vehicle to go to him. So his brother, sister, Nivritti, Sopan, all others say, how do we go to him? He's coming on a tiger. He's so powerful. How do we go? He says, no problem. We are sitting on this wall. No, wall will take us there. How can wall take us there? Wall is not a moving animate object. Gyanadeva says, no problem, it will go. He taps the wall and says, let's go and meet that Siddha. The wall starts moving. Unless you firmly believe that it is God only, like Prahalada, then God will manifest. So Gyanadeva could move the wall. Why? Wall could listen to Gyanadeva. Kanakadasa sang to Krishna. A statue of Krishna turns itself. That's the story. How did a physical matter turn? It's not, unless, law of inertia is there. Unless pushed or force is applied, nothing moves. Then how it moved? What moved it? Something moved it from within, because outside force was not there. No pressure was applied. So what was applied? Something from within moved. So that consciousness moved it. See, very interesting. This is for science people. Somebody sent me an article on the Nobel Prize in Physics that was received this year, 2022, by 3 people, Clauser, Allen and Zellinger. What did they prove? They prove one Bell theory was there about the connection between photons, you see. Einstein gave the quantum mechanics theory that everything is connected in the universe. Then when Bell was there, he tried to disprove it, saying that there are some things which we are not able to grasp. But it is not true that things behave because they know each other. No, there is some variables. It's called hidden variable theory. We are not able to decipher it. It doesn't mean that what Einstein says that everything is connected is true. So they have tried to disprove it, the Bell and his group. But recently the Nobel Prize was awarded to 3 people who did experiments in 3 different times, but they shared the prize because they proved the Bell theory wrong. They said everything is connected. There are no variables which are hidden, which we are not able to decipher. So it's called, they have given Nobel Prize for experiments with entangled photons, establishing the violation of Bell inequalities. For this, and this is a longer theorem, but this is the basic idea. 2 photons which are spinning in the opposite direction, if you split them, send them to the corners of the universe, if you measure the spin of one photon, you will exactly know the opposite spin will be in the other photon, though it's miles apart. They are still connected, they know each other. How does this happen? Now string theory has come up, unified field theory was there. It means all the universe is connected with some kind of a force which is called unified field force. That's what they call it now. They're still trying to prove, but at least they're not able to disprove it. I'm happy about it. When they prove it, good for them, but they're not able to disprove it. But we have, say, prano hi esha sarvabhutair vibhati. Everything is done by that same one prana. So this is a quantum theory which says observed is not independent of the observer. So they talk about observed and observer, and they're saying observed kshetra is not independent of the observer, kshetrajna. Prakriti is not independent of the Purusha. It means Purusha is not independent of the Prakriti too. See, this is the scientific term. Observer is not independent of the observed is not independent of the observer. This is the latest physics Nobel Prize. I'm sure some students who are interested in particle physics and quantum mechanics, they can take it from there and try to prove it using our consciousness theory. But as I said, science depends on instruments which are external. And Atma by definition is something which cannot be measured by external things. So how can you both meet? It's not possible. At best you can get closer and closer and closer, but you can't point it out. Because na tat, na sat, na asat. Scientific minds cannot grasp it. Nityo anityanam chestanaschetana. It is there in everything. In imperishable, in everything. So that is the idea. So wherever you see this, anything, any manifestation, no, there is a kshetra. Of course you know it, kshetra is there. All elements are there. Kshetrajna is also there in some hidden form. No, for sure it is saying. Next one, samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyastu avinashyatvam. Avinashyantam sab ya pashyati sa pashyati. Very important shloka. Who is really seeing things correctly? The one who sees the indestructible in all that is destructible. who sees Paramatma in the Jivatma or in the Prakriti. Such person alone is truly able to see the truth. All others are seeing falsehood only. That is our scriptural truth. And such a person, samam sarveshu bhuteshu, because that Atma is equally present in everyone. Nobody is less more. From the animal to the bird, to the tree, to the river, to the mountain, moon, sun, to you, me, and everybody, good, bad, ugly people. In everyone, that Atma is present equally, like the electricity is present equally in all the bulbs. Looks different because of the type of bulbs. So that Atma is present in all. How? Vinashyastu avinashtam. It is indestructible. That is what I pulled out a shloka from Kathopanishad. Nityo anityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yovididati kaman. It is the nitya in the anitya. Body dies, Atma doesn't die. This we have learned in second chapter itself. That the kledayantyapo, whatever, shoshayati maruta, all that stuff. It is like a garment we change. We change our bodies, Atma remains. So this is the idea of indestructibility of Atman, and you must believe in that. Samam pashyahi sarvatra samavasthita ishwaram na hinastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. Such a person who knows this truth will not destroy himself. What do you mean by destroying yourself or harming yourself? So many people commit suicides. Suicide rate in India and the world has gone up, especially in teenage. Why? I'm useless, I'm good for nothing, I got less marks, I'm not capable of all kinds of depressing thoughts. Why they're getting these thoughts? Because they're considering themselves only as body and the mind. If they knew their Atma beyond this, they have some other capabilities, maybe it's not been found out, they should work on it. Maybe they're a singer or a musician, marks is not everything. They will not destroy themselves. Even if they think they're Atman beyond death and birth, hopefully they will not destroy themselves. But this truth is not being taught to any students in any schools. Even elders don't know it. So people are harming themselves. So he says, such people harm themselves who do not know this truth. Even the greatest harm is what? You got a human birth and then you decided not to realize divinity. And you got entangled in the world, enjoyed the world and died a terrible death. What is the use? That's why Upanishads say, Suryanam te loka andhena tamsavrita. Such people who do not work on their spiritual welfare, they enter a dark world. So dark. No light is there, it seems. Tanste pretyabhi gachanti eke cha atmahano janaha. Those people who destroy themselves, they commit their suicide like that. Why? Because though they got this human birth, they got admission in Lokaseva institutions, they attended Paravidya workshops, they are listening to Bhagavad Gita, yet they are not interested in any spiritual practices. They want to have a good, happy, enjoying life. Such people are destroying themselves according to our scriptures. And such people have no redemption. They'll reach a dark place. Dark place means a terrible place where you can't see anything, you can't experience anything. You're miserable. If we lock you up in a dark room where there is no light, no air, no ventilation forever, how will you feel? That's how the soul feels, lost and troubled when it has not realized that Atma only is Paramatma. It thinks his Jivatma stuck with the body, it suffers. That's Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yah pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. Again, who sees really? The one who sees all the actions are happening in Prakriti by Prakriti. Purusha is not the doer. Electricity is not the doer. It is simply flowing. All the light is happening because of the bulb. Red light, blue light, green light happening because of the bulb. Like that, all the behavior in the world, all the activities, all the events are happening because of Prakriti and its gunas. It is responsible. Purusha is simply not the doer. It is a witness. That idea of being witness, that is what I told practice. What you have to practice? I am seeing this. How? Eyes. Who? Even if I close eyes, I can see. Who is seeing? Mind. Who is seeing the mind? Who knows that the mind is able to see through the eyes? Something. I am that. And establish yourself in that and distance yourself from your mind, you will distance from emotions. Distance yourself from the body, you will distance from all the desires. And wait and watch like how you establish yourself and see. Absolute peace. You will experience absolute peace. You will feel you are 1 inch inside your body. When you walk around, you will feel you are inside a capsule. You are here, your mind is here, your body is here, as if you have worn 2 garments and you are roaming around. Others may see you as whatever dress you are wearing, but you know who you are. Such a person cannot be disturbed. You will be peaceful. So that is the idea of this, that akartaram, that doer is nothing. He doesn't do anything, he just watches, witnesses. Everything is done by this Prakriti, our nature, our gunas. Yada bhuta pratak bhavam ekastha anupashyati tat eva vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. He says, those who realize that in all these different beings, there is only one who is established. Such a person sees everything as the extension of the same Brahma. Same consciousness is manifesting in so many forms. Eka Atma Sarvabhuta Antaratma. Everything is that, but looks different. Why? Because he is trying to perceive the electricity and not the bulbs. So he is able to understand the truth. Such a person sees everything as the extension of the electricity only, as the expansion of the Brahman only. So everywhere, that is why Aham Brahma, Sarvam Brahma. The Sarvam Brahma comes from this idea that everything is that Eko Vashi Sarvabhuta Antaratma Ekam Rupam Baudhayat Karoti. Kathopanishad said there is only one controller of everything. He only makes everything appear as different. That is the idea. Yatha Sarvagatam Saukshmya Akasham Nopalipyate. Like the Akasha, space. Very sukshma, it is subtle. We cannot see the space. I told you, we can say objects, but we cannot see the space. Unless the light goes, hits and reflects back, we cannot see anything. Likewise, black holes are there in the universe. We can't see those because they don't allow the light to reflect back. So like that, space also is not seen because light just passes through without reflection. So what happens? Because of its subtle nature, we don't see it. Like that, sarvatra avasthito dehe tathatma nopalipyate. Likewise, though this Atma is present in every cell of our body, everywhere, it is there, it is not seen, and it is not bound. Do you think, like example of space here, suppose I make a bathroom on this stage. Will that space of the bathroom become unsacred? The place may become unsacred, but bathroom is not unsacred. The space is not unsacred. Rain happens, sky becomes humid, space does not become humid. When fire is burning, maybe the atmosphere oxygen is there, so in oxygen may catch fire, but the space is not burnt. This is the subtleness of the Atman is saying. Because I say Atma is the closest example is space. So he says in the same way, this Atma is not affected by whatever is happening in the body. It remains unattached. We feel it is attached and suffer. That is our problem, wrong counting. Then, yatha prakasha yatyekah krishnam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha krishnam prakashayati bharata. Just as one sun illumines the whole world, likewise, this one Atma only is illumining everything. Illumining means is helping us to experience everything. Dukkha also we are experiencing because this ability of Atma which enables the mind and the body to experience Dukkha. Sukha also is coming because of that. Sukha Dukkha may exist in Prakriti, but Atma is the one which enables that to be experienced. But if you distance ourselves from Prakriti and Atma becomes detached, Sukha Dukkha will be happening there, you are away. See, screen is there. On screen pictures are going on. Is the screen picture? No. Is the picture screen? No. But both are entangled with each other, right? If I sing a song, you will think screen is singing a song. Because the screen appears to sing a song. But screen is unattached. Like that is Atma only is illumining everything, every cell of the body. Yet it is unattached. It is like a display of Prakriti and Atma as a screen. You see movies. First Saturday you saw a movie in which there is a war. A lot of bloodshed. You all felt terrible, came out. But did screen become sad? Oh, I had saw a Mahabharata war movie. Next time you saw a cartoon movie, very happy and everybody giggled and laughed. Did the screen become happy and started dancing and jumping? But everything that you saw was playing on the screen. Yet screen did not become happy or sad. Likewise, this Atma is the reason why everything is you are experiencing. Yet Atma does not become truly happy or sad. At that moment, at that scene, it may appear, oh, there is a sad thing going on. Screen is not affected. This is the idea of Atma and Prakriti. Final shloka, thank God. Kshetra-Ksetrajna eva mantaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param. The one who truly realizes the difference between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. So only kshetrajna is mentioned towards the end. That Paramatma only is this Atma. In one sentence he told of. That is kshetrajna. It knows everything. It experiences everything. But sometimes wrongly thinks that it is the Prakriti. At that moment it is called Jivatma. Otherwise it is Paramatma only. So this is what it says and says, Kshetra Kshetragamyo Ved. The one who understands the antaram, difference between the two, how Jnana Chakshusha, with a subtle vision, subtle understanding, not physically. Can I differentiate your Kshetra and Kshetrajna from you? You can't. You will kill the person in process of differentiating the two. You cannot. It's so entangled. Can you differentiate the screen from the picture? You can't separate them. Either if you separate them, what will happen? Picture will disappear. So it cannot happen. Yet you should know. How you know? You know there is a screen. Before the picture, the screen was there. Now also screen is there, but I can only see the picture. When I switch off the picture, Screen is back. Likewise, one boy went with the father to see a movie and he wanted to know what is a screen. First time he went to a movie theater. What is a 70 screen? He said, when his movie started off, unfortunately, when they reached late. So when the movie was playing, the son asked, "What is the screen, Papa?" Papa said, "You see that? That is the screen." What? He saw a hut, a house. Is the house screen? Father said, "No." What is behind the house? "Oh, that tree which is behind the house, is that the screen?" He said, "No." What is behind the tree? "Is that mountain which is behind the screen, behind the tree, is that the screen?" Father said, "No." "What is behind that?" "The sky which is behind the mountain, is that the screen?" He says, "No, there is something behind that." Child could not understand. But in the intermission, the movie was switched off, the screen became visible. He said, "This is the screen." So like that, Atma is everywhere. Only a Jnani with a Jnana Chakshu means the subtle eye, subtle experience, subtle understanding can know that Atma exists. Such a person, Bhuta Prakriti Moksham Cha. He gets freed of this Prakriti. He doesn't get freed of the Atman, he gets freed of Prakriti. This wrong notion that I am the Prakriti, I am the kshetra, I am the body and the mind and the emotions, vikaras. He gets rid of this idea. That's why he call moksha is equal to moha kshaya. Delusion is destroyed, that is moksha. When we are counting it right and know the 10th is me only, which I was not counting, that is moksha from the dukkha. The moment we know we are not the body and mind, we are not the Prakriti, but we are the Purusha, that is moksha. And the one who attains that, attains the highest param viduryanti te param. The one who viduhu knows it, yanti reaches what? Param, the highest state. There is nothing beyond this. Sa kashtha sa paragatihi. That is the highest state that you can experience in your life. Every other state is only lower than that. So this is the entire kshetra-Ksetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. As I said, this is the soul of Bhagavad Gita. If everything else is to be compared with the mind, because a lot of concepts and discussions and arguments, and the body, a lot of activities, how to behave, how to think, this is the Purusha of the Bhagavad Gita, this chapter. Soul of Bhagavad Gita this is. And we must know these concepts thoroughly. Keep reading it, keep repeating it. Repeat it any number of times, it's not a harm. It will someday reveal its truth to you. Till then, prayatno videya. Keep putting efforts. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's what our scriptures say. Don't give up till you have achieved the goal. Uttishtata, jagrata, prapya, varan nibodhata, shurasya dhara, dishita durutyaya. Though it is a difficult one, lot of Sanskrit, lot of heavy concepts, lot of subtle things. This is like walking on a razor's edge. You may misunderstand it also. If you don't understand it is okay. If you misunderstand it is worse. But carefully, with a guru's grace, with guidance, one you will be able to cross over and understand this truth. That encouragement our scriptures give. Come on, get up, start walking, don't stop. You will reach the goal, don't worry, don't give up, don't stop. That's all it is telling. Okay? So you keep walking this path of Bhagavad Gita. It is the most valuable scripture that Indian rishis or Indian culture has ever produced. And it transcends the barriers of religions, castes, geographies, nationalities, languages, status. Everything it transcends. This is available for everyone. This is not a religious book. This is a spiritual book. It's for all. If you students will learn this well, practice it in your life, make it to your experiential, direct experiential reality, and you teach it to thousands and thousands of others in your life, not just by preaching, but by very practice, I will be so happy. I will feel all the effort that has been put by rishis, by the teachers of this Bhagavad Gita, by all those who have kept this tradition alive, and to me and everybody else who has helped continue these sessions. We will all feel very fulfilled. So that is the gift that you can give back as your Guru Dakshina by practicing and teaching it to many more people.